The fluorescent lights buzzed overhead, flickering in a rhythm that matched the tension in the air. Jackson Reed, a single father of 8-year-old Milo, had just finished a long, grueling shift at the local supermarket. The store was crowded with weekend shoppers, carts rattling across the linoleum, the faint scent of disinfectant mingling with the aroma of fresh bread. Jackson's tired hands clutched the receipt as he approached the checkout counter. He had worked here for nearly 6 years, balancing double shifts to pay for his son's schooling and keep their small apartment warm in the harsh winter. Yet despite all the years of loyalty, respect was a currency he rarely received. As he waited for his manager, an imposing woman named Veronica Kane, to approve a price check on a stack of Milo's favorite cereal, Jackson felt the weight of the world pressing on his shoulders. He had barely slept the night before, and the mounting bills made each day feel like a war. Milo, sweet and naive, had spent the morning at school drawing him little pictures of superheroes, insisting his dad was the strongest man in the world. And Jackson believed it. But some days, strength felt like an empty word. Veronica was known for her strict demeanor. Employees whispered stories about her outbursts in the back room and how no one dared to challenge her authority. Yet Jackson, tired and determined, tried to stay calm. When she finally noticed him standing there, she waved him over like a teacher calling out a misbehaving student. "Reed, what is this?" she barked, slamming a clipboard against the counter with a force that made Jackson flinch. He looked at the items stacked neatly and the receipt in his hand, confused. "This isn't the correct way to ring these up. Do you even know what you're doing?" Jackson took a deep breath, trying to maintain composure. I followed the procedure you trained me on. If something's wrong, I can fix it right now." Veronica's lips curled into a sneer, a dangerous glint in her eyes. "Fix it? You've been here 6 years and you still can't get this right? Unbelievable." Before Jackson could respond, the world seemed to shift violently. Veronica leaned across the counter and slapped him across the face. The sting was sharp, searing, and humiliating. Gasps echoed from the shoppers nearby. Some froze, unsure if they should intervene. Jackson's cheek burned, but the fire in his heart was fiercer than the pain on his skin. He had endured hardships that would have broken most people, losing his wife 2 years ago, raising Milo alone, and working jobs that left him drained both physically and emotionally. A slap wouldn't define him. Jackson's first instinct was to step back, mouth open, heart hammering in shock. Then he looked around, seeing the fearful and sympathetic eyes of his co-workers, the curious stares of strangers, the wide-eyed wonder of little Milo standing just a few feet away, holding a small bag of groceries. And in that moment, something inside Jackson shifted. He straightened his back, his voice calm but laced with unshakable resolve. "Veronica Kane, that was unacceptable. I'm done being treated like I'm less than human." The store fell silent. The buzzing of the fluorescent lights seemed louder, echoing like a drumbeat of anticipation. Veronica opened her mouth, probably to retort, but Jackson didn't give her the chance. He walked to the back office where the assistant manager, a timid young woman named Claire, looked at him with wide eyes. "Jackson, what?" "I'm not leaving until this stops," he said firmly. "This store shouldn't allow someone to treat employees this way. If leadership tolerates abuse, then the whole system is rotten." 2 minutes later, the sound of the store intercom broke the silence, and Jackson's voice rang clearly, calm but resolute. "Attention, everyone. Effective immediately, Veronica Kane is terminated. All staff who condone abusive behavior are also relieved of their duties." Shock rippled across the store. Veronica's face went pale, mouth opening and closing like a fish out of water. Other employees stared, some in disbelief, some with tears in their eyes. Jackson's courage had broken the invisible spell that had allowed abuse to fester unchecked for years. The story of that day spread like wildfire, and Jackson became an unlikely hero, not because he wanted to be, but because he refused to let fear dictate his actions. The supermarket chain's headquarters praised his bravery and immediately flew in a crisis team to restore order. Jackson was offered a position overseeing operations with authority to implement fair treatment policies, a promotion he humbly accepted. But beyond the professional victory, the true reward came at home. That night, Jackson sat on the worn couch of his modest apartment, Milo curled against his chest, their small cat purring softly. "Dad," Milo whispered, tracing patterns on his arm. "You're like a superhero. You made the bad people go away." Jackson hugged him tightly, tears stinging his eyes. "No, buddy. I just stood up for what's right. And remember, superheroes don't always wear capes. They stand up when it's hard, even if it scares them." Life didn't magically become easier. Bills still piled up, school projects still demanded attention, and the winter chill still crept through the cracks of their apartment. But something had changed in Jackson. He had reclaimed his dignity, not just for himself, but for Milo, and for anyone who had ever been made to feel powerless. Jackson's story resonated far beyond the city limits. It became a lesson in courage and integrity, shared in news articles, social media posts, and eventually in motivational videos. People wrote to him from around the world, thanking him for showing that one act of bravery could ripple outward and create real change. A year later, the supermarket where it all began had transformed. Policies were rewritten, leadership retrained, and employees treated with respect and fairness. Jackson had become a mentor to new staff, guiding them not just in their work, but in how to navigate challenges with integrity and heart. Veronica Kane had left the industry entirely, a cautionary tale in corporate circles about the consequences of cruelty and abuse. Jackson never sought the spotlight, but it found him anyway. Invitations to speak at community events, schools, and corporate workshops poured in. Each time he told the same story, not for fame, but to remind people that standing up for oneself and for others was always worth the risk. He emphasized the importance of kindness, courage, and second chances, noting that the power to change a toxic environment often rested in the hands of the most ordinary people who refused to accept injustice. And through it all, Milo remained by his side, growing into a thoughtful, compassionate young boy who learned early that strength wasn't measured in muscles or wealth, but in heart, resilience, and the courage to do what was right even when the world seemed stacked against you. If this story of courage and standing up for what's right touched your heart, please like, comment, share, and subscribe to the channel Everyday Kindness. Let's spread stories that inspire and remind everyone that second chances and bravery are possible. Months later, as Jackson tucked Milo into bed, he found a small drawing on the bedside table. It was of a father and son, standing tall in a store, with a golden glow surrounding them. Milo had written underneath, "My dad, the superhero." Jackson's eyes welled up. The greatest reward wasn't recognition or a better job. It was the love and admiration of his son, and the knowledge that he had taught Milo how to face the world with integrity and courage. Before ending the day, Jackson placed a single candle on the kitchen table, lighting it quietly. He whispered a special request into the gentle flicker. "May every parent find the strength to protect and uplift their children, and may every child know the power of love, courage, and standing up for what's right." Life moved forward. Jackson's courage had changed not just his story, but the story of everyone around him. And while challenges remained, the bond between father and son became unbreakable, a testament to the transformative power of integrity, compassion, and a single moment of courage. The world may never know every struggle he faced, but in that small, ordinary apartment, Jackson and Milo built a universe where fairness, love, and resilience reigned. And in that universe, heroes didn't need capes, they needed heart. If this story moved you, please engage with this video. Share it, comment your thoughts, and let the world know that kindness and courage are never wasted. Every small act of bravery can spark a chain of change that lights up the darkest corners.